Hi, everybody. This is Tamara Kelly from Moogly, and we are, fingers crossed as always, live. It is, let's see, what day is it? It's April 23rd. It's actually a very important day here in the Moogly household. My youngest turns 18. So, as you can imagine, quite the milestone and a very exciting day indeed. But we've got lots of crochet and other fun stuff to talk about first. So, thank you so much to Paula and Phyllis and Julia and Elaine and Mary Ann, everybody who's tuning in, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching later, don't worry. We've got all the links to the things I'm talking about up today on Moogly. So you can get all the links to anything I'm referencing. And if I think of something while I'm live, I'll come back and add it later. So let's go ahead and get to it. I've got lots of cool things to show you today, a little unboxing, some new giveaways. So let's kick it off, as always, with our latest crochet along square. Got so many things. I've got a little pile here. Let me hold this one up, make sure I'm holding it up right side out. Here it is. This is block number 8 by Sandra Stitches. She is a newer crocheter, or a newer designer, I should say, to this crochet along. I'm not sure how long she's been designing. I could probably go look it up, but she's got a beautiful square for us today, or for number 8, I should say. Lots of beautiful versions of this up in the groups already that I'm seeing. Here's what the back looks like. So a little different. This one's definitely the right side, but it's still an attractive square from the back. And you can see we've got some really great texture here. For me, it showed up in the yellow. Of course, for other people, it'll be different stitches. And it's just a really lovely square. And of course, I think one of the things people love about squares like this is this one didn't require a whole lot of blocking for most people. So that's always fun too. And it's just a really great square. Very easy to adjust for size. As you can see, if you need to, shrink that row down or expand it to make it a little bit bigger. Very, very easy indeed. Sandra turned this one in to me really early in the year, actually, like back in January. So I've had this one done for a while. So I'm excited I finally got to show it off to you guys. For this year's crochet along, I am using Red Heart with Love. I always use an Aran or worsted weight yarn. So you can use whatever one of those would be your favorite type of yarn, and join us. I'm trying to say, having trouble talking today. Always good on a live day. Um, my point is, it's never too late to join this crochet along. It goes all year. It's been going for years, and I don't intend to stop. So hop on in. If you've been worried about it, if you think you can't keep up, there's no rules. It's jump in, make the squares you enjoy, and just enjoy crocheting with us. We'd love to have you. So, see if I can speak now. Moving on to the next thing. We finished our cloth collection, our card suit collection. We started, of course, a couple years ago here with the heart, which I put out for Valentine's Day, but then I realized it needed its friends for the card suit. So we've got the diamond, we've got our spade now, and of course, last of all, we got our club. So one thing I didn't show in the video tutorial, and I didn't actually do in the original, you can see here, there's some space left. We just crochet around to create that final border, which I did love. But after I finished making the video tutorial for the club, I was just goofing around with the sample I did. I did it in a lighter blue, so it was easier to see the stitches in the video. But after I was playing around, I realized after you make that final round that connects all the lobes, you're left with two long ends, basically right here next to the stem. And they're perfect if you want to use those ends, put them to work, and just cinch those two lobes together. So if that bothered you about that pattern, it's an easy fix. You've got two long ends right there from making the border. You can use those to cinch the lobes together, and it's done. So a very quick fix if that was something about the pattern that bothered you. I wanted to share that. So those are all up now for free on Moogly as well as on Ravelry and Etsy. So I hope you guys will check them out. All the video tutorials are up. If there's anything I missed, any questions you have, definitely let me know. And if you think there's another set that's waiting to be made, definitely let me know that as well. For those, I used Lily Sugar and Cream. Very handy, available everywhere. Worsted weight cotton makes them great for dishcloths, washcloths, trivets, pot holders, things like that. But of course, you can use whatever yarn you like. Little yarn to make little coasters, or a little garland would be cute. Great big yarn if you're going for like a big casino night, get flashy with it. It's just a lot of fun. So I hope you'll enjoy those patterns. So those are all the patterns so far this month. That's 3 patterns up this month. Like I say, the heart one was a little older, but we've actually got a 4th one coming yet this month, which I'm going to leave as a surprise. It's a little one. It's one of the patterns that I did at Stitch Up Chicago back at the beginning of the month. So I'm going to share that with everybody here at the end of this month. So that's 4 patterns this month. So lots of fun stuff. Next month, let's just go ahead and jump ahead on my list here. I'm breaking my own rules on my own list. Next month, we're going to have one pattern, but it's going to be a crochet along, and it's going to be for the spring seller sweater, which is I am wearing right now. You can see this is a long sleeve sweater, but it is also very airy. I've used sort of a modified granny stitch that I've been playing with quite a bit. It doesn't really have a name, sort of a V stitch, if whatever you want to call it. It's a long sleeve sweater with cuffs, a V-neck. I made it about waist length, maybe an inch or so below waist length. But of course, it's actually very easy to adjust the length on this one. You would just make that portion of the sweater longer, and it's worked without shaping. So it's very easy and approachable for everyone. One of the things I love about making garments is on my garment journey is I'm learning. I want to make sure that they're approachable for everyone. So I've made this as easy as I can. We have, like I say, this beautiful ribbed cuffs. We have a ribbed hem. We have a V-neck rib right here, which has, I'm going to kind of be kind of weird, but I'm going to try and show you guys the V-neck rib overlap right now. Not something I would normally do and point out, but I want you to see how cool this is, that this part of the V-neck actually slips behind this part of the V-neck to create this really neat little overlap. It's explained better in the pattern, so that was weird. Enough of that. It's a cool pattern. Better pictures will be going up with that. And I will be sharing that in 4 parts over the month of May. We're really going to take our time with it. So if you've never made a garment before, if you've never made a crochet sweater, this will be a great introduction. It's an easy, oversized fit. There's 8 inches between each size of difference. So you can pick the size that's going to fit you, the size, sort of the fit that you're going to like, and go from there. But like I say, we're going to take our time. I've broken up into 4 parts. There will be 4 tutorials. So I really want you guys to enjoy it. I hope you'll give it a try. Like I say, it's long sleeved, but it is really airy, honestly. I wore it at the beginning of the month and was a little bit chilly in it. So I hope you will give it a try. I really like it as a final topper over everything from a maxi dress to paired with leggings, what I've got it on today. So I hope you guys will check it out. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I was kind of inspired by the weather we've been having lately, spending lots of time in the basement dealing with the weather, but super excited to get out there in the sun, and this sweater was just kind of the result of spring in the Midwest. So I hope you'll check it out. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys like that. Let's see. I have a couple of questions, so let's go ahead and take a break and answer those. Ocean Girl, Mary Ann, asks, Tamara, do you turn your work when you crochet a square? And that's a great question. And like so many things in crochet, it depends. It depends on the pattern. If I'm designing a square, I might very well turn my work. It creates, or rather prevents the skewing, the turning, the twisting you can get sometimes, depending on how basically your gauge and tension lay. So personally, I do like turning my work when I'm crocheting a square. Now that said, I make the crochet along squares along with everybody else, and then generally speaking, I follow the instructions as written. I might substitute my preferred, chainless starting double crochet if they asked for a stacked single crochet, or if they just chain 3 for a double crochet, I might use my fancier one. Might join with a standing stitch, but I do try otherwise to follow the instructions from the designer. So when I'm doing the crochet along squares, I don't turn unless they say to. But when I'm designing one, depending on the pattern, not every pattern needs turning. Yeah, not a straightforward answer, I'm afraid, but I do like the idea of turning. I like it as a method of preventing that twist and keeping your seam straight. For instance, let me say this. If I were to make a huge, one of those huge granny square blankets, right, where it's one continuous granny square that just grows and grows and grows, I would absolutely turn at the end of every row for those, because with that stitch pattern, that skew can get really crazy. So that's a great example of where I absolutely would turn. So sorry, I know it's not a super straightforward answer, but like so many things in crochet, it just depends what you're making. So let's see. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you guys like the sweater, and I like the overlap. I forgot to mention what yarn it was. I hadn't gotten to that yet. Thank you for pointing that out. This is made with Bernat Softy cotton, which I believe I brought a ball over. Yes, here we are. This one right here. So I use Bernat Softy cotton. Of course, you can use whatever yarn you like. If you are ever looking for a yarn substitution for whatever yarn, maybe it's discontinued, one you used to love and you're trying to find something similar, check out yarnsub.com. It is a wonderful site that will tell you can type in the yarn that you love or that you're looking for, and it will give you like rated percentage wise, what is the best substitute. Love that site. So I thought I'd share that real quick. But this is a 3 DK light weight yarn. This one is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic, which is what I love, especially when you're making a sweater that you want to wear all year round. I'm a big fan of a cotton blend. It's just me. But you can use, of course, whatever yarn you like. I think this would look really beautiful. Excuse me. I think this would look just as beautiful in a in a hand dyed DK, obviously, something wool merino would be really lovely. I used what I happen to have sweater quantity of laying around, and I do love the result. I do enjoy working with this yarn very much. I've made several projects in it, so I do actually recommend this yarn if you're able to get a hold of it. So again, that's Bernat Softy Cotton. For the smallest size, you'll need 5 skeins. Where did I put it? For the smallest size, you'll need 5, and for the largest, you'll need 8. So kind of gives you some idea there. I think it's like 5, 5, 7, and 8. So I always recommend too buying a little extra. Hold on to your receipt. You can take it back if you don't need it. Um, well, unless you got it from Joann's. And otherwise, extra yarn never goes amiss, right? Make a little accessory. I love having a little extra laying around. So I will have more information with the details and specifics for how much yarn you'll need for each size up before the end of this month. I will hopefully have that up. I think I've planned that post for Monday. So I'll have all the details then, but I wanted to let you guys know. Start putting together your yarn, and I'll have all the yardage and everything for you then so we can get ready. But that will be over the month of May. And then, of course, in June, we'll hop back into some more other fun patterns. But I think it'll be really fun to take our time and really concentrate on sort of one thing. And hopefully some of you will make it with me. I'm probably going to be making a whole another one. I've got, I think, one more color of this that I can make another sweater in. So thank you so much. Yes, and Marianne says, I love Bernat Softy Cotton. It's very easy to work with. I just made a prayer shawl with it for my sister-in-law. Yes, it is a very, very easy to work with yarn. Let me try and hold that up a little better. You can see it's really nice and smooth. Like I say, cotton and acrylic blend to me is just about the perfect blend for making something like this. So I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys will too. But like I say, if you want to use, like a hand-dyed marina or, fanciness, superwash wool or something, you absolutely could do that too. It's probably going to be a little bit warmer, but maybe that's what you'd prefer. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I actually hope to make a few of these in different yarns. Let's see. So that is coming up. Just kind of jumped ahead and told you all about our May. What else? We have giveaways, of course. Finally, I got a box from Yarn Inspirations with one of the new colors of the new Bernat All-in-One Blanket Granny. I believe this is one of the new colors they've released. So this one, I'll be honest, not my favorite, but I do actually like the, looking at it here, this necessarily wouldn't grab my attention, but I do like the look of the granny square that it makes. It's actually a very pretty granny square. So I think that's one of the fun things about this yarn. The designers and the color experts have really put together some color combos that I wouldn't necessarily have reached for. Like I say, when I look at the top, I see, okay, they go together, but it's not my vibe. But that is a good looking granny square. So like I say, there's some new colors of the Bernat Blanket All-in-One Granny Square out now. Check those out, and we've got a giveaway that is ending for that soon. I believe that ends Monday night, Tuesday morning. So you'll want to enter that before it's over. Yes, definitely a 70s vibe, Shannon. Yes, very much a 70s vibe with these. But like I say, I don't know, the 70s are back. I've got a 20-year-old kid, and believe me, a lot of ways the 70s are back. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. And it's always nice to have more colors to play with for sure. So then we also have our newest giveaway. This one just started this week, and this one I saved the box because I wanted to show you guys because it's actually such a nice presentation. This is the Knit Pro Mini Bouquet knitting needle set, interchangeable tips. Let me show you. This is the box it comes in. So totally, it's been opened, so not perfect, but it is, like I say, really, really ready for gifting, which I love because it's kind of, designed as a gift set. The back opens up really beautifully. Oop. And I've been playing with mine. I've actually been doing some knitting, so my pieces are a little loose in there. You can see it comes in this really lovely bag. It's kind of a plasticky, almost stretchy, strong material. The bow is on here really nicely and securely. Always nice to know, especially with a gift set like that. There is a zipper compartment on the back, and in that is where you'll find your end stoppers, your cords. They even threw in a couple of stitch holders There we are. Love that little fun one. Super cute. And then, oops, let me close that. I'm not going to pull all the little pieces out because I think they'll go rolling around my desk. And there's some really good pictures in the giveaway. But inside, oop, still have a set in there that I was using. Shows you how I am, just putting things away willy-nilly. There we are. Pulled it out. This is the set of interchangeable tips. Why is one missing? Because they're still on the cord. This is the set I was using. I've been trying to do a little bit more knitting lately, polish up my skills. Got more to talk about that here in a minute. But I really did enjoy using these. Now, these little 2-inch tips, I'd never used such small needles before. And of course, you can put the wires together to make them longer, but I was just making a tiny little project. I've been actually using some of my leftover odds and ends of Lily Sugar and Cream to make little face cloths to replace all those little cotton rounds. And I just thought knitting would be a fun way to polish my, knitting skills. So I've been knitting them up. And these were just the right size. Like I said, it did actually take a little bit of getting used to. I think I'm somebody who tends to push their loops back a little bit further. And so having that get smaller right away was kind of just, like I say, something new. But I really got to enjoy them the more I used them. They were a lot of fun. And, for any knitter who doesn't love having a beautiful set of interchangeable tips, one of the things I really love about this set, you can see it just fits right back in there. And sometimes it's a little hard to get in there. The first time I put it, the first time I took it out, it was a struggle. It gets a little easier every time. I think it's stretching a little bit. There we go. Slides right in. I'm going to be lazy again and shove it in here. But I do think this is a lovely set, and it makes a beautiful gift. And one of the cords is sticking out the back. But there we go. It's nice and compact. So you could also, one of the great things is you can, obviously keep this in your notions bag, throw it in your project bag. If you're traveling, you're not sure exactly what size you're going to need. You've got a pretty good range here. So that is really nice. If you're going, on a yarn retreat, you're going to just be doing a lot of swatching. That could be a lot of fun too. So this is a really great kit. Again, this is from Knit Pro. Now you might have heard of Knitter's Pride. That's what they used to be called here in the US. And elsewhere they were known as Knit Pro. So I don't know if it was a year or two ago. Time flies, a little while ago, they switched over to being Knit Pro everywhere. So if you're familiar with Knitter's Pride, they are now Knit Pro. Same company, same great family-owned business, really high-quality products, and a really, really lovely set. So perfect for Mother's Day. You can go ahead and pick these up. I've linked to their website in the giveaway where they list their retailers, and they're also available on Amazon, and I've got a link out to that as well. So you can go ahead and purchase the set, especially if you want to give those for Mother's Day. Go ahead and get those ordered now. Otherwise, we've got a giveaway going on Moogly. So fingers crossed for everybody on that one. Shannon says her daughter uses that size for her socks. Yes, exactly. This is great for socks. They recommend, actually, my tiny little washcloths aren't probably the intended thing. I feel like they mentioned, they don't mention it on the box, but I know on the listing they mentioned socks and like arm cuffs, for sleeves, anything like that, any small project. But like I say, for me, when I'm traveling, like if I'm on an airplane especially, or a bus, anything crowded, I don't like having to, the big needles and things. I like to keep it real small. So I feel like a set like that, sock knitter, is probably perfect for travel. So definitely check that out. How are the cords? The cords are good. They are not the spinny cords. I will say that. So every once in a while, after a few hours of knitting, I did have to go back in and tighten up the cords. But I do really like the cords. They're not stiff. Like I've got some cheap bamboo needles, in the first set. And I actually recommend when somebody's just learning to knit that they get those cheap bamboo needles because of the grip. But setting that aside, I do like the cords. They are not overly, what do you call it? You know how the plastic ones, you have to put them in hot water to soften them up? These aren't like that. These are ready to go right out of the bag. I was going to say right out of the box. You can see they're metal. And they've got just a really great bend to them. So yeah, that was actually, thank you for asking, because that was one of the really lovely things. I mean, we've all been there, right? You open a new pair of knitting needles and all of a sudden you're like, oh, these are unusable. The cord is too stiff. These are great. These are ready to go right out of the box. So love that. Thank you for asking that so much, Paula. All right. So, okay, what else? We've got those things going on. I think those are our only two giveaways we've got running right now. Of course, I'll have some more coming up soon. I wanted to share with you guys, I have been using my Volare pillow. So, and I actually brought it down today. It's all fluffed up. So here we are. I'm going to try and kind of bring it up. It's a big guy, so try and bring it without leaving the microphone too far. But here we are. This is my Volare pillow. You can see it's got 2 different colors. I chose this colorway because this was the lightest cover. I didn't want to go white because I knew it would get dirty, but I wanted a light color for when I'm crocheting and I'm working with, a darker yarn or something where I need to see it really well. I think having a light background is really helpful. I do not clip it behind my waist while I'm wearing it, but it's kind of handy to be able to clip it, for storage. The cover does zip off right there. It wasn't that hard to get it in. It took a couple minutes. It's like stuffing a pillow into a pillowcase. It's always a little bit of a chore, but it wasn't bad. And then it just fits right around my waist. And I really do enjoy it. It keeps my arms up and it supports my arms and takes the strain off my shoulders. And really, it does the job that I've been talking about for years when people talk about arm pain or ergonomics for crochet and knitting. One of the things I would typically recommend is that they put a pillow under each one of their elbows to help support your elbows. Sitting in an armchair can do it, of course, if you don't have an armchair. Those pillow supports, if you don't have that, or if you want to, the Volare is a great substitute. That will help not only with your arm stress and strain, but it typically helps your tension and your gauge. It helps keep it even. If you think about it, when you're crocheting, you're holding up the yarn, you're holding up your arms, all that stuff. And as you get more tired, your stitches may loosen up, your arms may come down, you might relax more, hopefully, as you're stitching, or maybe you're watching something scary and you're tightening up. But the pillow helps keep your shoulders in one place, keep your shoulders and your elbows in one place, so it helps even out your tension. Now, that said, I've gotten a lot of feedback. I've been talking to others who've tried the Volare, and a lot of people love it, but it isn't necessarily for everybody. I think what I'm hearing is perhaps if you've got like a shorter torso, or if you're somebody maybe with longer arms, and for some people, it's just too thick. For some people, it's lifting their shoulders and their elbows up too high. So for those people, obviously just a pillow or armrests might even be too high as well. But for me, it's working. It's not going to work for everybody, like every product, right? Not every crochet hook is perfect for every hand. I always say, not every yarn is perfect for every project, but there's a perfect project for every yarn. So personally, I am very much enjoying the Volare. If you are very petite, I feel like it might not work for you, but if you've got an opportunity to try one out, definitely do that. It's very similar to the Boppy if you were a mom in the early 2000s. I don't know if moms still use them or not. I know I definitely did then. Very much reminiscent of that for sure. Hopefully won't get as messy as my Boppy did. But I really am enjoying it. I find it very relaxing and very comforting. And what's interesting is I actually left it in the living room on Easter, and I noticed a couple other people were sitting with it and just kind of enjoying sitting with it. They were playing video games, but they were just enjoying having the pillow. I think they found it very cozy and comforting. So something to try. If you are interested in trying your own Volare pillow, you can use the link on today's blog post. Or just go straight to the website and put in the code MooglyBlog15 to get 15% off. It is a pricier item, so you definitely want to use that discount code. All right, so on to the next things. We've got an unboxing. This one is by Furls. I've prepped it just a little bit. I'm going to try and rip it open here. Furls has a brand new set of hooks that they've debuted, I believe, yesterday. 22nd, something like that. And they sent me a few of them to show you guys. So let's pull them out right here. I think they always, they're very nicely packaged, but I'm not sure how much smaller the box could get, but we keep getting smaller. So always feels like a lot of packaging, but of course they want to keep them nice and safe. So I've got 3 of the colors. I don't know if you guys have peeked at these online yet. They are very pretty. So if you haven't gotten a Furls before, this is the kind of box they come in these days. It's changed a couple times over the years, but they've stayed about the same. And these are their new aluminum anodized metal streamlines. Look at that blue. Isn't that pretty? That's an F hook. Isn't that gorgeous? It is immediately cool to the touch, but it's aluminum, so it should warm up as you use it. It's light, but not as light as I expected it to be. If you compared it to some of the other, say, the Susan Bates or Boys, you think of aluminum, you think of those as light. This is light, but it's still heavier. It's solid. well, it might not be actually solid, but it feels solid. You know what I'm saying? It's got a little bit more weight to it than I expected. But the color is gorgeous. And the shape, of course, is their streamlined shape that so many people love. Let's see what the next color is. Ooh, that one really wants to roll away. That's the only thing with furls. You have to keep a little dish or something. I like to just have a scrap of crochet usually nearby to put them on. Ooh, this one is pretty. This is an H, sort of a darker blue. This one is more of a, maybe a little bit more matte as well, but that is gorgeous. Again, another really beautiful hook. We've got one more, so let's go ahead and open it together. Whoop. I always think I'm going to keep the boxes nice. I don't know why. I don't put them back in the box. Ooh, now that's lovely. Look at that gold. We've got an H here as well. So another really beautiful hook. So some more of the gorgeous hooks from Furls. They're always innovating. They're always coming out with new ones, new colors, new styles and things, and that is a lot of fun. And I do enjoy using them. Again, not necessarily for everybody, but for those who enjoy them, they have another really beautiful option. And I like them. I do enjoy using them. Not for every project. Like I said, not every yarn is for every project, and every hook is for every project. Sometimes I want something a little pointier. Sometimes I want something a little less pointy. You've just got to, I love having the variety of things to choose from, and I think that is lovely. Let's see. Jill says, oh, this is a great tip. Jill says that she uses her niece's Poppy or Boppy pillow, and it's not as thick. So if you love the idea of the Volare, but it's too big for you, that's an interesting option. We'll just leave it at that for sure. Let's see. What else do we have today? Oh, our Jimmy Beans Blanket Kit Club. I've been hard at work on kit number 4, if you guys are following along. This has been so much fun. Now, you might think, Tamara, you're leading a crochet along. Why are you doing another blanket crochet along? Because crochet alongs are fun and stitch alongs are fun. And they are relaxing, and I love learning new stitches and trying things from other designers. Lena Skavagerson, I do my best on her last name. Love you, Lena. She designed this blanket for Jimmy Bean's wall, and I'm loving it. Every designer's brain is different. The way she's combined these stitches and colors, I'm absolutely having a blast. I've never done a blanket crochet along quite like this before, so it's been a whole lot of fun. But we're kit number 4. We added the color espresso. Ignore all my ends. I'll get to them eventually. But we added the brown color. So this was one of the squares we made on that one, probably the most 3D one. Some of these we didn't add anything to this month. I know there was one more. Here it is, this one. This was one of the squares we added to this month. But for this one, the big moves were on these stripes. How are these multiple stripes going to come together? I have no idea, but I'm excited to see it. We did mosaic crochet for this brown and red right here after doing short rows and cables and the linen stitch. Love that. And then on this guy, we added this section right here, which is really similar rather to the Leaping Stripes and Blocks blanket on Moogly for sure. And then we had a couple more rows that go after that, but I'm not even showing the right side and it's still pretty. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely lovely. Another piece that started with cables, and we had some more stitches that I frankly don't even remember at this point. And then these beautiful guys right here. So eventually this will all come together in a blanket. Now you can see mine are very bright. I'm using, I believe it's the Trailblazer colorway. And then, or might be the MX, I think it's a Trailblazer colorway. And then, but there's a pastel version also called Beachy Keen, I believe. But they're all beautiful. I am using Beanstalk Worsted, which is an acrylic yarn available from Jimmy Bean's Wool. If you prefer, rather, they also have it in Madeline Tosh wool. So if you want to make sort of an elevated, super fancy blanket, that absolutely is an option as well. But I am very much enjoying making that one. Do check that out. I've got that linked there as well. And the fun thing about that crochet along is because they send it out one kit every month, doesn't matter when you start, you're going to start with kit 1. So you can jump in whenever you're ready and just make the kits as they come. So then finally, since I jumped ahead and already talked about May for our sneak peek, starting today, I wasn't doing enough crochet-alongs, I decided to add another one. I am waiting right now. I was hoping it would arrive in the mail, but it didn't quite arrive in the mail in time. But sales are open for everybody else today. Knit Collage, they are doing their spring knit-along. Now, they do have one crochet pattern, but I picked one of the knit patterns. I wanted to challenge myself a little bit to make my own knit sweater. It's a cardigan. It's called the Flow State Cardi, I believe. Yes, Flow State Cardi. And I'm really excited about it. It's a simple cardigan, but it's got some needle felting detail on it. And I think it's going to be a great beginner knit. I kind of got the chance to take a peek at the pattern. So it looks doable, it looks approachable, even for somebody, who doesn't knit all the time. So I'm really excited. I'm going to take you guys on the journey with that as well. Now, that said, this is kind of a different stitch along. There are several knit patterns and, like I say, a crochet pattern to choose from as well. So if you guys want to join me, you can pick whatever pattern you like. I'm just going to be having some fun making the pattern I want to make, but it seems like a really great program. They've got an app, they've got a community built out for it, so lots of help there as well. I didn't bring over the sheet with the schedule on it. I'll share more as that goes. But starting today, the kits themselves are up for sale, and those only last for a week. So you've only got till I believe, of course, I wrote it all down on the other paper, but I believe it's maybe like the 30th to get your kits for this knit along, stitch along. Like I say, there's a crochet project as well, but several knit projects to choose from, and it looks really pretty. I'm excited to work with Knit Collage. It's our first time pairing up with something like this. And like I say, I'm excited to give it a try, and I hope you guys will check it out as well. So that, of course, just leaves the sweater I'm wearing, our May Crochet Along, the Spring Seller sweater. So that will be out next month. And then I think all I had left to talk to you guys about was our upcoming trips and stuff. So I have, again, special events planned this year. The first one coming up will be in June 21st. We've got a few tickets left for that one. That is the one-day crocheters retreat at the Lancaster Yarn Shop in Intercourse, Pennsylvania. So, like I say, we've got a few tickets left for that one. We'd really love to fill it up. That one's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be making a top together. We're going to be talking about all kinds of topics, and I want you to bring your crochet projects as well, because this is their first crochet event like this, and I would love for you to be able to, if there's anything that's been stumping you, if there's anything gosh, I wish I had somebody around to ask, bring it to the day, and we'll see what we can do for sure. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Then we have in July, of course, the Chain Space Retreat with Crochet Guild of America, where I will be one of the teachers. This is going to be a little different than other Crochet Guild of America retreats you might have been to in the past, or conferences, I should say. This is, in fact, more of a retreat. So it's a smaller group. We're going to be in Reno, Nevada at a beautiful hotel. We're going to be doing some little trips and things. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I'm really excited for that. Been to Reno a couple times with Jimmy Bean's Wool, so I'm excited to go back with the Crochet Guild of America. And I'm telling you, I'm not as you can see, I'm not a sit in the sun person, but Reno, even in the summer, is absolutely beautiful with plenty of air conditioning. So a big, big fan. All right. And then we've got in September will be our trip to Scotland. Now, both the Scotland trip and the Lancaster trip, the opportunity to buy those tickets are ending very, very soon, like right at the beginning of May. The ticket sales for the Scotland trip in September and May 6th. And I want to say the Lancaster trip is just a couple days after that. So I know it might feel really early, but if you think about it, arranging travel and all that stuff, especially for a whole group, they need a little bit of time. We need to make sure we've got enough people to go. If we don't have enough people, we're not able to go. So if you are interested in signing up for that Scotland in September trip, now is the time. Go ahead and head to the website, contact them if you've got any questions. They do all the setting it up. So I just want to send you so you can get their answers faster. There's information at the bottom. They've got email, phone calls. There's a phone number down there. So if you've got questions or you have special needs, definitely give them a call and talk to them about that. So that is in September. Then in October, back here in the States, I will be heading to Big Raven Farm in Minnesota for a fall crochet retreat. And this one's going to be very different. If you haven't heard me talk about this one yet, this one is going to be something so different from what I've done before. I'm going to be teaching some techniques. Absolutely. There's going to be some handouts and all that stuff, but it's going to be focusing on expressing ourselves through crochet. And it's going to be a really, really unique experience for all of us. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's going to be a very small group, happening from October 23rd through the 26th in Big River Farm, Minnesota. So, all right. Again, all these are linked in the blog post. Finally, our last trip of the year. I'll take November off to stay home, maybe. And then in December, we are hopefully going to Austria and Bavaria for the Christmas markets. Now, both that and the Scotland trip are with craft tours. I want to say the signups for Austria and Bavaria are in early August. That's when they end, rather. So you'll have a little bit more time to decide on that one, but I hope you'll decide to join us because that one's going to be a lot of fun. Both of those trips are going to incorporate crochet and yarn. I'll be teaching a couple workshops, but we'll be doing lots of shopping and eating and other fun stuff along the way. So I hope you'll check those out. And then, of course, I will be back live again with you guys May 14th, 2025. Now, as I'm looking at my sheet, I'm realizing I missed one very important thing. So we'll make that our closer. I forgot to announce we do have one more giveaway going on right now. These guys. And this is fun because I might be the one sending them out. This is a worldwide giveaway, but Moogly is now an official reseller for the Babé crochet hat templates. Now, if you've been following Moogly for, the past 14 years, then you definitely know, but you should know I am a huge, huge fan of these. I have been using them myself for several years. This is the first and so far only crochet tool that I am reselling, that I, put up in my own Etsy shop that I believe is worth it. This is a fantastic product. If you make top-down hats and you want them to fit the person they're meant to fit, then you cannot go wrong with this set. You can see it's several plastic pieces here in different sizes. Nice and durable. These aren't going to fall apart on you. They aren't cardboard. It's not, laminated paper or anything like that. We've got a wire, a little thick for knitting needles, but it holds it all together. And then we've got the chart that is attached. And this shows you all the different sizes you can make from 0 to 3 months to extra large adult. It shows you the measurements, both in centimeters and inches. And then over here, it tells you which one of the templates you want to use for that size. So I've done a few different videos where I show myself using these, but essentially, we'll just grab one out here. What you do when you're making a top-down hat, of course, crochet or knit. These are ostensibly crochet tools, but to me, they work just as well for knitting. But what you do is you start crocheting or knitting, making your flat circle, right? When working top down, you make a flat circle. So if you put the center of your circle right there, as soon as the curve of that circle matches the curve of the template, then you've got it big enough. And then, of course, you can just start working evenly. No more increases down the length of the hat to turn it into that hat shape. And when you lay that out, that should be the length of the template. And voila, you've made a hat that will fit specifically those sizes. So what I love to do is this is designed for beanies. If I'm going to make a slouchy hat, I just go a little bit longer. If I know I want a fold up brim, I want to take that fold up brim, right past that line. If I'm making a bucket hat, I use this actually to help me make the bucket hat that I designed. I went just a little hair bigger because a bucket hat, right, is meant to be looser. So I went a hair bigger than that. And then for the length, I worked almost down and then I added my brim. It still helped me, even though it isn't officially the way to use the templates. So as I say, these are such a boon. I genuinely use these. I pick these up every time I know I'm going to design a top-down hat so I can pull out the templates for the sizes I want to make and know that they are going to be just right. They haven't led me wrong once. I cannot say enough good things about these. So I'm very excited and proud to be sharing these in the Moogly Etsy shop now available. I am the official retailer for US and Canada, at least as long as we can ship there. So if you want to purchase these, but you do not live in the US or Canada, there is a link, or at least you might have to copy and paste it because Etsy doesn't allow links. But Babé Crochet, Isabel, the lady who actually invented these, she lives over in Europe. So she's still handling all the European sales, all the rest of the worldwide sales. So US and Canada, I can handle from here. Makes it a little bit easier and hopefully a little bit more affordable for everybody. But anywhere else in the world, you want to head over to the original and she can ship them out wherever you need them. So, yeah, they are a lot of fun, and like I say, it's just become, it's if I'm gonna make a hat, I pick up my hooks, I pick up my yarn, maybe the stitch dictionary if I feel like I need it, and I throw these in the project bag as well. Genuinely, like I say, this is the first and only thing I've put in my shop like that. So, I want you to know that means I do stand behind these. I fully believe in these, and I'm very excited to be sharing those in my shop now. So, very exciting. So, can't believe I almost forgot to talk about that. Some of the biggest news I've had for a while. So, yay. Julia, if for the Lancaster yards, you will need your own yarn. Yes. Um, the pattern that we're making is up in my Ravelry shop now. So you've got the information there. If you're coming to the class in Lancaster, you'll get the pattern included. I'm not 100% on the yarn. Um, Let me ask. Wendy is the owner of Lancaster Yarn Shop. You can ask her as well. She'll have more information on the very details. Now, when I come in to teach one of these classes, I'm usually kind of coming in, as the instructor, basically. I'm hired help for the day. So I don't always have all the details on that stuff, and I apologize. Wendy will know for sure. I think they have the option, you will have the option to purchase that there in the shop. Like I said, I do have, and you'll get a pattern as part of the class. But I'm not 100% on the yarn. I keep meaning to ask her that, and for some reason, she's been on vacation or I've been on a work trip, and we just keep passing like, two ships in the night. But we'll get there. So we've got a little bit of time on that part at least. So thankfully. Let's see. What else we've got? Okay, I'm just checking the comments, making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, Edith, you're going to be there in July. I'm so glad. Edith Smith, we were on the Crochet Guild of America. Um, we were on the board together, so that'll be a lot of fun. So, yes, definitely check that out. Head over to Moogly today. Lots of really great links. Everything from, we started with our crochet along square. We're going to have a crochet along next month. I've got a knit kit coming, hopefully in the mail this week. I'll share that as soon as I get it. And of course, hat templates out. Lots of fun patterns this month. One more surprise pattern to go. If you were at Stitch Up, you have a pretty good idea. But lots of fun trips coming up as well. So that, I think, might be it for today. We've been going for almost 45 minutes, so it's probably time to let you go. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I very much appreciate it. Love spending time with you guys. It's always fun. Love having these lives. Like I say, we'll be back May 14th for another one. I can't believe it's going to be May by then. In the meantime, I'm going to H&H Americas, which is a trade show up in Chicago. So if any professionals out there are watching, look for me. I will be there at the Creator Summit on Tuesday and then on the floor after that. So hopefully I'll see you there. And hopefully I'll see a bunch of you at some of these events later this year and online. So have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Keep on stitching, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.